Hey, good morning, guys. This is Mr. Justice. I want to welcome you to the Millard Area Vocational School located in Millard, Kentucky. This is my first attempt at this selfie stick and doing these videos, but wanted to give you an introduction to the school, especially for my evening class. But if you'll look right here, and I'm going to turn this around to where you can see it, hopefully here in a second. If not, I'll turn it around. This is the Millard Vocational School. This is where you'll enter in the front door when you come to the school. As soon as we go back to in-person classes. And we have, for your safety and security, and that's part of what this video is about, we are going to talk about safety, security inside of our school, inside of the classroom. Very important to know what the policies and procedures are. By now, every one of you should have already read the handbook, took the quiz, and you should have familiarized yourself with all those policies and procedures for the school. So when you enter the vocational school, here's the door. You will enter to the left. Generally, we're out here to greet you. When we start back, I'm sure there'll be social distancing in place with a mask. Now, you may say, well, Mr. Justice, you're not wearing a mask. I'm not. There's nobody around. I'm farther than 6 feet away, farther than 12 feet away, farther than 13 feet away from anybody in the building so far. So as I go through the building and I introduce you to these areas, I'm going to stay far enough back that it's not going to affect, but so no mask so that you can hear me. So when you come into the building, and I'm going to take you in right here, we're going to come in. We'll have a procedure for your temperature to be taken, and you're to have a mask. Now this mask, according to the most current guidelines, is to be worn at all times. So from the time you come in to the time that you leave, you'll be wearing a mask. The only time that you won't be wearing a mask is if you take a drink of pop or water, which you'll need to bring with you. Our fountains are not accessible during this COVID, so you'll need to bring a bottle of water or a bottle of pop or something with you. Come in, we have a hand sanitizing station right there. You can come in, sanitize your hands. The ladies in the office, if you look, there's Sherry Sawyer. She is our office secretary. Now in the back behind the door, and I'm going to swing you around, but I'm going to keep my social distancing. See if I can put you, I don't know if you can see back there or not. Give me just a second. Let's go. That's Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
And she is the office assistant here at the Vocational Center. And these are two ladies that you'll be seeing. And when you come, you'll actually be, they'll be taking your temperature, is my understanding. If you do not have a mask, we have one that we can provide for you. But I figure since they're going to be bringing you down probably on a school bus, you need to wear a mask. Now, if you have to come to this vocational school to pick up a book or to get papers or drop papers off, it's important that you wear a mask. You'll enter through that door. There'll be a series of questions for you to ask. They'll shoot you in the head with a thermometer. Doesn't hurt at all. We'll get your temperature. As long as it's under a certain amount, then we can continue with a mask. All right, so as we go through the school, let's go through the school. We're going to come down the hallway. Very important is restrooms. Now, as you come down the hallway, men's restrooms are to your left, and women's restrooms are to your right. And that's if I was facing this direction. Now, as we go farther on down the hallway, here we go. I don't mean to make you dizzy or drive you crazy. You'll see here, this is the principal's office. And over the door, you'll see that it says AED. AED is an automated external defibrillator, and we have one here. We're lucky enough to have one here at the school. If we come on in the office, you'll see that there is a defibrillator, and we check that once a month to make sure that it is operational in case we have a medical emergency involving cardiac arrest. So if we're here at the school and there's a medical emergency and somebody says get the AED, you'll come to the principal's office, you'll see the sign beside the doorway, you'll come straight in and you'll see it hanging on the wall. All you have to do to access the AED, pull the handle, grab the bag, and you're ready to go. Now, let me introduce you to our principal. Some of you may have already met him, and I'll keep my social distancing. But there's Mr. Roberts. Hey, Mr. Roberts.
Hey, guys.
Video for my two classes I'm going to put up on YouTube, kind of giving them a tour of the facilities. Now, if you happen to come, thank you, Mr. Roberts. If you happen to come and let's say your temperature's up or you become sick while you're here at school, we have an isolation room. We'll place you into that room. Now, isolation room sounds pretty pretty bad, man. I'm going to be put in isolation. But it's a room basically separate from the other students. There'll be an exam table in there, but if you're not well enough to sit up in a chair, we'll put you on the exam table and lay you with a pillow and a blanket or whatever you may need until someone can come get you. And it's located at the end of the hall. And it's going to be a pretty big, good size room, and so that way we can take care of you until someone comes to get you, your parent or guardian. So let's head back down the hallway. When you come into the school, my classroom, health sciences, to the left. So you'll go left through the double doors. Ladies' restroom, right there. You'll go left to the double doors, and then you'll make a right and you'll go down the hallway. So that's where we're going now. We'll just head right down there. We're going to head to the room, Mr. Justice's health science room. As you can see, we'll just head right down the hallway there. Very important room, men's restroom for the guys. And then, of course, this is our health science bulletin board. And you can see, I left up the stuff from last year, 2019 to 2020. A picture of the classes. Some of you may recognize your pictures on the wall from last year, those of you who are coming back. And then, of course, we're going to go on down to my room. Now, if my understanding is right, this is the oldest vocational school in the state of Kentucky. It was built in 1960. I should have showed you the plaque as we come in. Terry Justice, Health Science. So let's go in. Now, one of the things that you'll notice when you come into the classroom is that I have all the desks spaced 6 foot apart. So that way, if you're sitting here, you'll have ample room. There's 15 desks in here. I'm not for sure what they'll make the capacity of this room, but I'm blessed to be able to have a room big enough to do that. Now, when you come into the room, immediately to the left of the door, this is your right to know information. This is where you will find our emergency numbers, our emergency handbook, our MSDS sheets, and when we do our safety inspections, which we will do monthly, we'll actually elect or appoint a safety committee who will go around and do the safety inspections. And if there's any safety concerns, we'll discuss those and we'll correct those at that time. If you'll notice right under there, we've got a garbage can. We've got our bulletin board with information, safety information, and then also history of nursing. So pretty cool. Over here, now that's the exam table that will be in the isolation room. Jimmy, our custodian, is going to move that into the isolation room. So it's in the process of being moved. We have areas where we have supplies, office, which is not 100% ready yet, but I'm working on it. I was waiting till the exam table got moved, and then I'll work on that. This room's been cleaned a couple of times. So let's talk about more safety. As we come back, you'll notice we have the inside door there. We have an outside door, which can be as an area of egress in case we need to go out in case of a fire or some other emergency that we need to go outside. We have our storage cabinets. And then over there by the sink, where we can do hand washing, hand sanitizing, we have an emergency eye wash station, and we have first aid kits. Our heat and air unit. All right, so as we go back over here, you'll see that we have an emergency eye wash station. And we always, during the safety inspection, we'll check the dates. Once we check the dates for the eye wash, we'll make sure that those are within and not expired. Now, first aid kit, we have one on the wall, and we have one to carry. We also have additional supplies in the cabinet. Of course, our sinks. That's not an exit, that's our supply closet. And then we have a third exit there. Now, as we go over here, if you notice, I've got everything stripped. All the linens have been washed and cleaned, and they're in plastic. We won't use those until we get into the safety of it. You'll notice that we have our Millard Area Technology Center. This is our tornado plan. Always check the door, make sure that it's secure. We have a fire plan. And in case of a fire, we have 3 ways of egress, 3 ways to leave the room. So that's just the first video, part 1. My phone was ringing, so I assume, looking at the time, I have a student coming to pick up their manuals. One of you are actually in the building, and I will put my mask on and go greet them. So until a few minutes, we'll do part 2. Guys, hang tight.